The roast chicken was still steaming when she said it, sharp as a dropped knife, loud enough to clatter every plate at the table. "You're a disgrace to the family." For a moment nobody breathed, not my son, not my grandchildren, not even the clock on the wall, which seemed to pause out of respect or fear. And me, I just sat there, Grandpa Ned, with my hands folded the way they've been folded for 78 years, like I was holding onto something invisible that might slip away if I let go. I didn't flinch, I didn't raise my voice, but something old and heavy stirred in my chest, something that had survived wars, winters, and long nights when hope felt thinner than soup. You see, when you've lived as long as I have, insults don't arrive alone. They bring memories with them. The dinner was supposed to be a celebration. My son Mark had landed a promotion, big title, bigger paycheck, the kind of thing that makes people straighten their backs and talk louder than usual. His wife Linda had planned everything down to the folded napkins and the polite smiles. She liked order, control, appearances. I, on the other hand, had arrived in my old brown coat, the one with the frayed cuff, because it was cold and because it was mine. I brought apple pie, baked by my own hands, just like I'd done for decades. It leaned a little to one side, but so do I. Linda had been watching me all evening, I noticed. People think old men don't notice things, but we do. We just don't always comment. She watched how I ate slowly, how my hands trembled when I reached for water, how I told the same story about fixing Mark's first bicycle. When she finally snapped, it wasn't really about the coat, or the pie, or the story. It was about shame. "You embarrass us," she continued, her voice trembling now with something like righteousness. "Always talking about the past, about hard times, about scraping by. Mark has worked hard to move beyond that." Mark stared at his plate. I looked at my grandson, Eli, 10 years old, eyes wide like he was watching a storm form indoors. My granddaughter, Rose, clenched her fork the way I once clenched a wrench, ready to use it if needed. I smiled. That's what surprised them most. Because when Linda finished, I cleared my throat and said, "You're right." Every head snapped up. "I am a disgrace," I continued gently, "to a certain kind of family." I pushed my chair back and stood. My knees protested, but I didn't sit back down. "I never went to college," I said. "Didn't have the money. I worked the docks at 16, lied about my age. Came home with hands so cracked your grandmother used to rub them with lard because it was all we had." Linda crossed her arms. Mark finally looked up. "I missed birthdays," I went on. "Missed school plays, missed sleep. I wore the same coat for 15 winters and 8 meals that would make you wrinkle your nose." I paused, then looked straight at my son. "But I was there when you were sick, there when you were scared, there when you failed math and thought your life was over." My voice didn't shake. That surprised me. "I taught you how to stand up after getting knocked down, how to tell the truth even when it costs you, how to leave a place better than you found it." Linda opened her mouth, then closed it. "So yes," I said softly, "if success means forgetting where you came from, if dignity means never showing wear and tear, then I am a disgrace." I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out a folded envelope. Old, yellowed, I placed it on the table. "Mark, do you remember this?" He stared at it like it might bite. "It's the letter you wrote me when you were 12, I said, "after I sold my truck to pay for your school trip." His hands shook as he opened it. "Dad, I know you work really hard. I want to be like you. I promise I won't waste what you give me." The room was quiet again, but different now, not stunned, reverent. Linda's eyes darted to the kids, to the letter, to me. "I never wanted a statue," I said, "never wanted praise. I just wanted my family to remember that comfort is built on sacrifice and pride is built on gratitude." Eli spoke then, small but steady. "Grandpa's not a disgrace." Rose nodded fiercely. "He's the strongest person I know." Mark stood up so fast his chair scraped loudly. He looked at his wife, not angry, not shouting, but awake. "My father," he said, "is the reason I'm here. And if that embarrasses you, then you don't embarrass him, you embarrass me. Linda's face crumpled, not dramatically, quietly, like something finally realizing it's been wrong for a long time. She whispered, "I didn't mean." "I know," I said, "and I did. We all get scared of looking small." I sat back down. We ate the pie. It tasted better than usual. Later, as I buttoned my old coat, Eli slipped his hand into mine. "Grandpa," he said, "will you tell me that bike story again sometime?" I smiled, "As many times as you'll listen. Because that's the thing about disgrace. It fades. But the stories, the love, the sacrifices, the quiet strength, those last longer than any promotion, any title, any perfect dinner table." And Grandpa Ned. I walked home that night a little slower, a little colder, but taller than I'd been in years.